Okay, you guys, I am really excited about today's video. I'm super excited about this video because I've been wanting to sit down and film this for quite some time and I haven't had a good chance. And I've also been implementing the things that I'm going to be talking about today in my own home and have slowly been starting to experience a real change, and I'm just really excited about it. So to get started, I want to share with you guys 3 different principles or 3 different questions to ask yourself as you go through your home if you're wanting a bit more of a decluttered, less stressful, more peaceful home, because those are definitely 3 things I desire to have more of, and I'm definitely still on the journey of trying to figure out how that looks with little kids and with clothes that come in from, working in the garden and all that stuff. And so I'm by no means there, but I am quite confident that if I continue to apply these 3 different kind of questions, principles I'm going to be talking about today, that I will continue to experience more of those different things that I want to experience in my home and creating that environment that I want to have. So I'm going to be sharing these 3 different principles and also just some helpful kind of questions to ask yourself as you're analyzing these to hopefully be able to make those decisions about different things in your home, whether you want to keep it or get rid of it, how you want your home to kind of be set up and the aroma of your home. To give you guys a little bit of a backstory, my husband and I have 2 little girls and I'm pregnant with our 3rd. And we live in about an 800, maybe 850 square foot home, and so it's fairly small. And we are actually going to be moving, Lord willing, within the next couple of months. So we're super excited. And this has gotten me even way more thinking about these 3 principles and how to apply them, because I do not want to have to haul a whole bunch of stuff over to our next home that we don't use in this home, that aren't really necessary, that just kind of are clutter and are kind of in the way, and then have to find a spot for them over there. So my goal is to kind of rid ourselves of all of our extra and unnecessary clutter and junk and things we don't need before we move. So that's kind of the goal I'm working on right now. The first principle that I kind of came up with recently is just asking myself this basic question as I think about my home as a whole. Do I have more than I can maintain? And I think this is such a good question to ask ourselves in any area of life. And I think it applies to any area of our life. And so for myself, I kind of look at each category of my home. Maybe it's the laundry, it was the girls' toys, it was the girls' clothes, and just asking myself, can I maintain what I have? And so this has led to me really cleaning out the girls' clothes because I just felt like they were really disorganized and there was a lot of stuff that they didn't actually wear, and it's just made that that much simpler. I also go through the girls' clothes and my clothes to some extent and swap them out seasonally, and so I'm not having to dig through their winter, summer, spring, and fall outfits in their drawers trying to find what they can wear today. And I found that to be really helpful, and I just store those other seasons of clothes away and pull them out as the seasons arrive. Also, with the girls' toys, I found that I've been a mom now for 3 years and I watched this happen. I kind of start to collect just these little knickknacks or parts of toys, and we've lost the other parts and they never get played with, but I don't really throw them out, and I've just been throwing those things out because they don't get used. They usually are like some ugly little piece of something that went to something else, and so they're just unnecessary clutter that gets dumped out throughout my house. So getting rid of all those extra knickknacks and focusing on just toys that my children actually enjoy and clothes that are actually for the season that they're in, and keeping everything else stored away so it's not just tons of extra things that I'm maintaining but they're not really being used. So that's been a helpful question to ask. And kind of along that same line is principle number 2, and it's don't get more if you can't maintain what you already have. And this is really good for me to think about when I see something maybe cute that I think the girls would look good in, or oh, there's this that I would love to buy them. Just really stopping and analyzing, can I maintain the clothes that I already have? Do I keep them from being completely stained? Can I maintain the toys that my girls already have? Can I maintain my own clothes? Do I actually need this? I found that to be really helpful. And something that I heard this guy recently that I started listening to say that I thought was brilliant, his name was Joshua Becker, I think. He said something along the lines of asking yourself the question, do I need to buy, let's say, a bigger amount of organizational bins, a new dresser to try and store more stuff in? Or can I get rid of the things that I have and so I can continue to use items that I already have to organize them in or to store them in? And I thought that was really helpful too when you were thinking about, can I maintain this? Should I get more if I can't maintain what I already have? And then rather than changing your mindset to buying something bigger and better, changing your mindset to seeing if you can kind of limit items so you don't have to continue to buy the way bigger house, you know, get the walk-in closet or whatever it is. I thought that was a really helpful thing to think about. Lastly, principle number 3, can I swap out 2 things for one thing that is more practical or that I like better? I've really tried to slowly do this over time with my clothing, and so now I have a lot less items, but the things I do have I really like, and I found that to be so helpful. I do this with the girls' clothes too. And a little tip here, sometimes I'll have an item of clothes, especially for the girls or for myself, and I like it, there's nothing wrong with it, and I don't really want to part with it, but I find that I'm not gravitating towards wearing it myself or putting it on my girls. And so in the past, I would just either store it back down in the bottom of the drawer and have to dig through it every time I'm trying to find something I do really gravitate towards. Or I'd feel bad but think, oh, I just gotta donate this. So now I take those items, for an example with my girls, and I'll just put them in the bag with all the clothes that are too small and think, you know what, maybe the next kid down the road, I'll be really excited about this outfit and be super glad that I saved it, even though right now there's nothing wrong with it, I like it fine, but I'm just not having my girls wear it. And that's been helpful with those items where I don't want to get rid of them, but I find that I, you know, skip past them a lot because I just don't gravitate towards them this season. So that's been helpful. I do that with my clothes and I do that with the girls' clothes as well. I do not touch my husband's clothes. I've tried to get much better at that. I've also found this principle really helpful even with furniture throughout my home. This is kind of funny, but just changing my mindset and asking myself that question by Joshua Becker, and then really analyzing, do I need both of these things, or could I get one that's more practical, one that's more functional for what I need, and get rid of the other 2, and so I only have 1 rather than 2 items. And so an area that I did this with in my daughter's room, they have 2 dressers, but one is short and the other one is really tall, but it has shelves on top, and so neither of them just have a really nice storage for just clothing. And so I was able to get rid of both of those dressers, and then my hope is once I find the perfect dresser that has lots of drawers and is taller, I can get that and put all of their clothes in that and only have to have 1 rather than 2, and have that one be exactly what I'm looking for and really ideal. So I'm trying to do that with different areas of my home. So far I have gotten rid of a lot of furniture, sold a lot of stuff, flipped a lot of stuff, or gotten rid of it and put something else that's much more practical for what our family needs in its place. And I found that to be really helpful in just eliminating extra things that I don't want to have to maintain from my home. So those are the 3 principles. One more thing that I kind of wanted to add though is that sometimes I'll get in this rut in my home where I'll look around and I'll just be like, it's a little bit cluttery, or it's a little bit messy, or it's not quite what I want, but I don't know what can go. I feel like I need everything that I have, or I feel like even if I declutter this room, maybe I'll have like 5 items that I want to get rid of, and so it's not worth my time. And so I've found a couple things to be really helpful with that when you just kind of feel stuck in a rut and you don't know where to begin and you feel like you just need a new pair of eyes. So a couple of things that I found helpful. One is just watching like a decluttering video. Maybe I'll watch a video by Sara is I think how you say her name. And I mean, you can't get better than Sara when it comes to minimalism and just a peaceful home, right? And it just instantly gives me inspiration and motivation, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I don't use that and I don't like that and that could go. And so that's a helpful thing. Another thing, I'm surprised if I just can find maybe 1 thing and I'm just like, you know what, we don't use this, I'm just gonna list it on Marketplace and see what happens. I'm surprised how quickly you start to get momentum where all of a sudden you're inspired and noticing all these different things throughout your home that you want to get rid of or declutter that before you just didn't see because you weren't in the right mindset. The same applies with, like I mentioned before, you know, maybe just cleaning out 3 things from your kitchen. I'm surprised with just those tiny little things that you get rid of, how that starts to propel you forward into seeing your home with a new set of eyes and being more motivated to declutter, and then being really excited about the results. So those are the 3 different principles / mindsets and some different questions to ask around those. I hope this video was helpful. I am by no means a perfect minimalist at all. That is my eventual goal, just to have a very minimal, organized, easy to maintain home. I so desire that, especially as we have more children, and there's that temptation to just start accumulating stuff. And I am very convinced that by applying and continuing to apply these 3 methods, that I will experience more and more of that, despite the fact that our family is growing, so we're going to need some different things. So I hope that video was helpful. Comment down below if you have any kind of minimalist decluttering tips that have really been helpful for you with just having the right mindset in your home and really being I like to say a creator rather than a consumer of everything. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you hopefully again pretty soon. Bye, you guys.